We done wait a long time.
A long time.
But we gonna get this thing crunk up.
69 Boyz featuring Van Thrill the Player Bryant and Barry Fast Right, active since 1992. The 90s was a transformative period in hip-hop marked by regional movements that carved out unique sounds and reshaped the genre. Amid the boom of West Coast G-Funk and the gritty storytelling of East Coast rap, the South was quickly cultivating its own distinct identity. At the forefront of this movement was the Miami bass sound, an electrifying fusion of booming 808s, high-energy beats, and dancehall hooks that dominated parties and club scenes. Within this vibrant cultural setting emerged 69 Boyz, a group that epitomized the Miami bass era's fun and carefree spirit. Hailing from Jacksonville, Florida, 69 Boyz burst onto the scene in 1994 with their iconic hit Tootsee Roll. The song became a cultural phenomenon, reaching number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 and achieving multi-platinum success. With its infectious hook and dance-driven energy, Tootsee Roll quickly transcended regional boundaries, earning the group nationwide recognition and cementing their place in hip-hop history. Their debut album, 199 Quad, became synonymous with party anthems, capturing the youthful exuberance of the Miami bass movement. For Florida hip-hop, 69 Boyz represented more than just chart-topping success. They were torchbearers for a genre that celebrated Southern culture, unapologetically embracing the region's party-centric atmosphere and bringing it to a mainstream audience. Alongside contemporaries like Two Live Crew, they proved that Miami bass was a force to be reckoned with, opening doors for future Florida artists like Trick Daddy, Trina, and Pitbull. Their contributions helped lay the groundwork for the South's eventual dominance in hip-hop, showing that the region could produce music with mass appeal. Yet despite their explosive debut and undeniable impact, 69 Boyz' time in the spotlight was fleeting. While they followed up Tootsee Roll with minor hits like Kitty Kitty and Hoop in Your Face, a track featured on the Space Jam and Sunset Park soundtracks, they struggled to replicate their initial success. By the late 1990s, their presence in the music industry had faded, and their name became a nostalgic footnote in hip-hop history. The story of 69 Boyz doesn't end with the triumph of Tootsee Roll, but neither does it continue with the consistent upward momentum they seem poised for. What happened next was a combination of external forces and internal missteps that ultimately hindered their ability to sustain the spark that had once set them apart. What happened? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC, StuntedGrowthMusic. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. 69 Boyz is a rap group formed in Jacksonville, Florida during the early 1990s, a period when Miami-based music was booming. The group consisted of Thrill the Player Van Bryant from Jacksonville, Florida, and Fast Barry Wright from Orlando, and other members who joined in live performances, all united by their passion for creating high-energy, dance-driven tracks. They were inspired by the booming Miami bass scene pioneered by acts like Two Live Crew and DJ Magic Mike, and sought to put their own spin on the genre by blending infectious hooks with sharp, southern-infused rap delivery. Their big break came when Thrill the Player connected with producers CeCe Lemonhead and Jay Ski, who were known for their work with Quad City DJs at 95 South. This collaboration led to the creation of Tootsee Roll, a track that quickly caught the attention of music executives. The success of their demo earned them a record deal, launching their career in 1994. Stunt number 1, Overshadowed by Tootsee Roll. The first and perhaps most glaring reason for the stunted growth of 69 Boyz was the overwhelming success of their debut hit Tootsee Roll. On the surface, a song that reaches number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 and sells over 2 million copies should be a dream come true for any artist. But for 69 Boyz, this massive success became a double-edged sword. Tootsee Roll was so big, so universally recognized that it quickly became their soul-defining identity. Rather than being seen as a versatile group with more to offer, they were reduced to being the guys who made Tootsee Roll. This issue was compounded by the fact that Tootsee Roll wasn't just a song, it was an anthem tied to a dance craze that defined the mid-90s. While this brought them instant fame, it also made them heavily reliant on a gimmick. When fans think of you more for a dance than your artistry, it creates a ceiling for how far your music can go. The song's commercial appeal overshadowed their follow-up efforts, and despite releasing tracks like Kitty Kitty, which had a similar party vibe, none of their subsequent work could escape the long shadow of their breakout hit. Another factor was timing. Tootsee Roll hit during the peak of Miami bass's popularity, a sound inherently tied to a specific era. Once that era began to wane, the group's reliance on their debut song as their main identity made it even harder to adapt. Ultimately, Tootsee Roll didn't just put the 69 Boyz on the map, it boxed them into a category they couldn't break out of. While it's a cultural classic, it became the very thing that stunted their growth. Stunt number 2, mismanaged opportunities. The second major reason for 69 Boyz' stunted growth was the mismanagement of key opportunities that could have extended their relevance and solidified their place in hip-hop. After the runway success of Tootsee Roll, the group had the attention of both fans and the music industry, but they failed to fully capitalize on this momentum. Opportunities to showcase their versatility or establish a cohesive brand identity were often mishandled or left unexplored. Take for example their track Hoop in Your Face, which was included on the Space Jam soundtrack. The movie was a cultural event in the 1990s, exposing the group to a massive new audience. However, instead of using the track to anchor their next album or capitalize on its visibility, it remained isolated, disconnected from the rest of their discography. This decision robbed them of a chance to tie their music to a larger body of work that could have kept fans engaged. It felt like a missed layup, an incredible opportunity squandered. Additionally, their focus remained too heavily on singles rather than creating cohesive albums. While this approach worked for Tootsee Roll, it made it difficult for 69 Boyz to build a lasting narrative or identity that audiences could follow. Albums like 199 Quad leaned heavily on their debut hit, but didn't provide enough standout tracks to establish them as more than a one-hit wonder in the eyes of casual listeners. Rather than strategically using these movements to grow and evolve, the group seemed stuck in a cycle of chasing another hit. Without a long-term vision or cohesive strategy to keep their music connected to major platforms, their career lost the momentum it desperately needed after their explosive debut. Mismanaged opportunities became one of their greatest setbacks, further stalling their growth. Stunt number 3, lack of a cohesive brand identity. The third and perhaps most critical reason for 69 Boyz' stunted growth was their lack of a cohesive brand identity that could connect with fans on a deeper level. While their music excelled at delivering infectious energy and party vibes, it lacked the layers necessary to establish a lasting impression in a rapidly evolving hip-hop landscape. As artists, they were defined by their ability to make people dance, but beyond the beats and hooks, they struggled to tell compelling stories or present a persona that fans could invest in long term. At their core, 69 Boyz represented fun. Tracks like Tootsee Roll and Kitty Kitty embodied the carefree spirit of Miami bass, but that singular focus limited their appeal. Unlike contemporaries such as 2 Live Crew, who leveraged controversy and boundary-pushing lyrics to remain in the public eye, or Outkast, who built their brand on innovation and storytelling, 69 Boyz didn't give fans much to hold on to outside of their danceable hits. They lacked the kind of artistic evolution or personal narrative that creates enduring fan loyalty. Furthermore, their image relied heavily on the Miami bass genre, which was already showing signs of decline by the late 90s. As hip-hop began to emphasize lyrical depth and personal authenticity, 69 Boyz' music felt increasingly out of step with broader trends. But instead of rebranding or evolving their sound to meet the moment, they doubled down on their party-focused identity, which only cemented their position as niche artists. Without a clear identity beyond the dance floor, 69 Boyz found it difficult to stay relevant as fans gravitated toward artists with more versatile and multi-dimensional brands. Their lack of brand identity became a roadblock they couldn't overcome, further stalling their once promising career. All in all, 69 Boyz rose to prominence with electrifying energy and undeniable talent, creating one of the most unforgettable party anthems of the 1990s. As pioneers of the Miami-based movement, they celebrated Southern culture with music that inspired a generation of artists and opened doors for Florida icons like Trick Daddy and Trina. However, their rise was hindered by key missteps, an overdependence on the massive success of Tootsee Roll, missed opportunities to capitalize on their momentum, and the absence of a strong, multifaceted brand identity. These challenges ultimately limited their ability to sustain their initial success. Even so, 69 Boyz hold a special place in hip-hop history, representing an era of carefree, dance-driven music that defined a moment in time. Their story serves as a testament to their influence and a lesson on the importance of adaptation in an ever-changing music industry. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, their growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, StuntedGrowthMusic. I'm out.